Good morning, everybody. It's Monday, June 26th. My name is Alan. I want to welcome you to my Spiritual Growth Through Recovery podcast. The purpose of these videos is to grow my spirituality by following the AA program of recovery, and I try to do that by being as honest, vulnerable, and accountable as I can be, which is why I make these videos. Makes me put some work in. I'm no expert in AA or spirituality or recovery. Just trying to live life on life's terms and do it sober. The recipe we follow here is we read the daily reading out of the AA Daily Reflections book. There's a link in the description if you would like to follow along. And then, I'll just share my take on that and whatever else is going on spinning through my head. All right, so the topic today is going to be a gift that grows with time and the idea of grace. All right, June 26th. For most normal folks, drinking means conviviality, companionship, and colorful imagination. It means release from care, boredom, and worry. It is joyous intimacy with friends and a feeling that life is good. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 151. The longer I chased these elusive feelings with alcohol, the more out of reach they were. However, by applying this passage to my sobriety, I found that it described the magnificent new life made available to me by the AA program. It truly does get better one day at a time. The warmth, the love, and joy so simply expressed in these words grow in breadth and depth each time I read it. Sobriety is a gift that grows with time. The first part of that where it talked about, companionship and imagination and just intimacy with friends and all that. Yeah, that's what I experienced early on. Unfortunately, it was a very, very short time period. And the cool part about AA is at least following some kind of recovery or spirituality, we can get that without having to drink or use drugs, right? So, it definitely started out that way and it didn't last long. And but there are that's not the only way, and there's healthier ways to do that. I like the part where it talked about the longer I chase these elusive feelings. Elusive, you can't quite grab them. You may have them for a moment, like the first drink or the first hit, and then they're gone, and you're chasing it for the rest of the time. And God, and chase means to pursue with intent to capture. Intent to, you don't quite get it, right? So, and that's the case for me. It's we get it early on, and then it just teases us like the carrot, right? From there on. And the part where it talks about applying this passage to sobriety, it truly does get better. And it does. And I do believe it does get better. And then the last part where it talked about sobriety is a gift that grows with time. And what are some of the gifts that I've experienced in sobriety? Keeps reminding us that we made it here from where we were, right? We made progress. We can find our way back into a functional reality, find the confidence to be comfortable with who we are. We get this gift to be honest with ourselves and others. We can appreciate little things. We can have real connections with people. Freedom, laughter, good night's sleep. That's a big one. And then being a productive member of society. Those things that I never had when I was using, right? Anyway, that's that topic. I just wanted to talk about the idea of grace because it's the idea of forgiveness and no one's better than anybody and we're all kind of sinners, that kind of thing. We all make mistakes, right? We're all flawed. So grace, I try to look up a couple of different ideas. It's the unmerited divine assistance given to humans for the regeneration or sanctification. So it's like a higher power would give that to us, unearned, because from our being reborn or surrendering oneself. All right, it's like charity, mercy, giving grace to another person. It's forgiveness or patience when confronted with someone's sin. It's like, it's all right, it's okay. So where does grace come from? Well, it comes from a higher power. One person can give it to another, and we can give ourselves grace. Why is this important, right? We're not perfect, and we're all flawed, and it's made that way. I'm not sure exactly why. I kind of believe we're made that way, so we want to pursue our higher power. Otherwise, if we're perfect, why do we need them, right? So it's important to recover because giving ourselves grace in life and recovery will help us confront and learn from our mistakes and setbacks. They're going to have them, so if you don't have grace, how are we going to learn from them if it's not okay to make them, right? The fact that God offers us grace shows that we have value to God. It's a value not based on a performance, it's because of love. Okay? If we must receive it, so it can be given, but we must receive that grace and let it work in our lives if we're ever to break free from addictive strongholds. If I can't forgive myself, it's easier to go back and use again to just numb what I'm feeling. Grace gives hope to the person just realizing the need for recovery, and also breathes new life into the one who's been on a journey a while but feels stuck in a rut. It's just, hey, just hang in there, just keep going. Past is the past, move on. So how do we receive or cultivate grace? I think we need to be honest with God. We need to learn to forgive ourselves. We need to speak gently to ourselves, easy with the criticism. We can surround ourselves with gracious people. We can receive grace by giving grace to others, and then it kind of comes back to us. We must trust our higher power and allow that God, believe that it's a gift that God wants to give to us, or others. We're worthy of that gift. Okay. So anyway, that's kind of what I want to talk about today, because I have no grace for myself, and so I thought this was pertinent here. An idea of the sobriety, things get better, but we got to keep plugging away. There will be setbacks, and we're going to struggle, and grace is important in that. So anyway, hope you got something out of the reading. I just want to encourage you to maybe look at yourself. What kind of mental thoughts do you say to yourself? Are you too critical? Is it okay to make mistakes? Is it okay for others to make mistakes? I think if it's not okay for us to make mistakes, then it's easier to point fingers at others and they can't make mistakes. So anyway, I hope you got something out of the reading, and I'll be back tomorrow for another video. So until then, peace out.